Hello everyone. Today I will explain you chapter 3rd of civics, that is why do we need a parliament. Okay, in this chapter we will read about the need, the role and the function of Indian parliament. Okay, students, parliament is that important organ of the government who having the responsibility to make the laws for the country. Okay, the Indian government have three important organs, that is legislature, executive and the third one is judiciary. Okay, and it was the legislature who having the responsibility to make the laws for the country, and in India parliament plays the role of legislature as it make the laws for the country. In this chapter we will read about the Indian parliament. Okay, so the Indian parliament enables the citizens of India to participate in the decision making and control the government. Okay, thus making it the most important symbol of the Indian democracy and the key feature of Indian constitution. Okay, this I have already explained you in chapter 1 of your book, that is civics, when I am explaining you about the Indian constitution, and we having a point that the feature of Indian constitution. Okay, so it is an important feature of Indian constitution, that is we have a parliamentary form of government where we having the two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. This I will explain you later in this chapter. Okay, now the first point in your book is why should people decide. Okay, if you having the NCERT book, please see these points in your book also. Now the question is that why should people decide that who will rule over them. Okay, so there are so many reasons for them, and the first one is under the colonial rule the people did not have right to criticize the British government. As you all know that they badly exploited the Indian, and during their regime we don't have any right to oppose their programs and the policies. Okay, so under the colonial rule the people did not criticize the British government, but the freedom movement changed the condition or the situation. Okay, our leaders, they took a long struggle, okay, for the gain of our independence, so it changed all the scenario and the conditions. Okay, so after the independence our constitution maker, they just frame a constitution for independent India which laid down the principle of the universal adult franchise, that is all the adult citizens who have acclaimed the age of 18 years, they have right to cast the vote on the principle of one person, one vote and one value, irrespective of their caste or religion. Okay, so under this the citizen of India, they have right to elect their leaders to form the government. Okay, and if they are not doing according to the wishes of the people they have the right to change them in the next election. Okay, now the next point in your book is people and their representatives. Okay, so a democracy is based on the idea of consent, that is the desire, approval and the participation of people. Means the success of any democracy is based on the participation of the people, means how the people they are participating in it. So the basic idea of a democracy is that the individual or the citizen is the most important person, and that in the principle of government as well as the other public institutions need to have trust on these citizens. Means under the principle of a democratic country or a democracy, citizen or an individual is considered as the most important person, and it is the responsibility of the government as well as the government institutions to make the citizens satisfy and work according to the wishes of the citizens or the people. So the parliament, which is made up of the representatives, together control and guides the government. Okay, this I will explain you how the members of the parliament are elected. Okay, this I will explain you. Now the next topic in your book is the role of the parliament. Okay, so students, the Indian parliament is an expression of the faith that the people in India have in the principle of democracy. Okay, means the member of parliament are elected by the citizens of the India on the principle of universal adult franchise. Okay, so it generate a faith that the people in India have in the principle of democracy. Okay, the parliament in our system has the immense powers because it is the representatives of the people. Okay, means our parliament is consist of the representatives which were elected by the people by casting their vote. This I will explain you by giving you example how the members of parliament are elected. Okay, the Lok Sabha is elected once every 5 years. The country is divided into constituency. Okay, constituency. Okay, so constituency is that electorate region from the candidates of different political parties they are contesting in the election. Okay, so it is the meaning of constituency. It is an electoral region from where the candidates of different political parties they are contesting in the election. Okay, and each of these constituencies elect one person to the parliament. Okay, once elected, the candidate became a member of Indian parliament or MP. Okay, and these MPs together make the parliament. Okay, now I will explain you how the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are elected. Okay, means Indian parliament is consist of two houses, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is called the lower house and Rajya Sabha is called the upper house. Okay, first we will see how the members of Lok Sabha they are elected. So according to the Constitution of India, the Lok Sabha have maximum of 550 members plus 2 members will be nominated by the president. Okay, those nominated members are belongs to Anglo-Indian community. Okay, means Lok Sabha have total 552 member. Okay, this is the maximum limit or the maximum number of member the Lok Sabha can have. Okay, at present we have 543 members in the Lok Sabha. Okay, means at present the Lok Sabha have 543 seats in which 2 are nominated by the president. So we have 545 members in Lok Sabha. Okay, now I will explain you how the elections are conducted for the Lok Sabha elections. Okay, elections and their conducting is the responsibility of election commission. This I will explain you in your next chapter. So at present we have 543 seats in Lok Sabha, means these 543 members are directly elected by the people and the 2 members are nominated by the President of India. Okay, so imagine this is India. I don't have the time to make a map, so imagine, मान लीजिए कि ये भारत है. Okay, and at the time of elections the whole country, the whole India is divided into constituency. This I have already explained you earlier. Okay, so India is divided into different parts. Okay, and each part is called constituency. Okay, each part is called constituency. I hope you all now understood this. Imagine this circle is India, and the parts, small parts you have seen in this figure, you can imagine that they are these small part. Each part is called constituency. Okay, so constituency is the region from which the candidate of different political parties they are contesting in the election. So at the time of the Lok Sabha election, India is divided into 543 parts, and each part is known as constituency, from where the candidates of different political parties they are contesting in the election. Understood? So every constituency elect one person to the parliament. So the person or the candidate who will win from these constituency, he or she will become the MP, that is the member of parliament. I hope now you all are able to understood. Okay, and in this form the party who have the maximum number of seat, means as I have already told you that we have 543 seats in Lok Sabha. So the party who won one seat more than half, yeah, means the party who won one seat more than the half of 543, as it is an odd number, so its half will be considered 272. So the party who won 272 seats in the Lok Sabha election, that party will form the government. Okay, I hope now you all are able to understood this. So the party who won at least 272 or more than 272 seats in the Lok Sabha election, that party will form the government, and the other parties who will lose in the election, they will play the role of opposition in the Lok Sabha. Okay, in Rajya Sabha at present we have 233 members. Okay, 233 members, and 12 are nominated by President of India. Okay, so total we have at present we have 245 members in Rajya Sabha. Okay, and the members of Rajya Sabha are elected by the members of state legislative assemblies. Okay, now we will coming back to it. As I have already explained you, the Lok Sabha is elected once every 5 years. This I just explained you. The country is divided into constituencies, and I hope you all know what is constituency now. Each of these constituency elect one person to the parliament, and that person became the MP, that is the member of parliament, for a specific period of time, that is 5 years. Okay, now the next topic is Parliament performs the following functions. Means in this topic we will read about the composition and the functions of Indian Parliament. This is very important topic in your book, so please see this topic in your book also. Here also I will explain you, but you have to see your NCERT book also. Okay, so students, the Indian Parliament is consist of the President, the Lok Sabha, and the Rajya Sabha. Okay, means these three are the important elements of Indian Parliament, that is President, Lok Sabha lower house, and the Rajya Sabha, which is called upper house. Okay, and I have explained you this, that there are 543 elected and 2 nominated members in the Lok Sabha. Okay, this I hope you all know. Now in Lok Sabha we have 543 members at present, and we have maximum we have 552 members. At present we have 543 members, and means these members are elected, and the 2 were nominated by the President. They belongs to the Anglo-Indian community, means those foreigners who just used to live in India and they have the citizenship of India. Okay, so for their representation, 2 members are nominated by the President of India. Next point is coalition government is formed when the political party does not get simple majority. In such condition, the group of different parties came together to form a government. Okay, this I explain you here. I told you that the party who won one seat more than half, means the Lok Sabha have how many seats? Lok Sabha have 543 seats. Okay, so the party who won the half seat, means one seat more than half, that is 272 seats. Okay, so imagine if no party will have the clear majority, means if no party is able to reach that number, in that case we having a provision of coalition government. Okay, now I will explain you what is coalition government. So when in the Lok Sabha election no party is able to got the simple majority, that is 272 seats out of 543. Okay, when no party is able to got at least half or one seat more than half in the election, then in such condition the group of different parties come together to form a government. This is called a coalition government. In simple word, we can say that when no party gets a clear majority in the election, then the party who having the maximum number of seats, that party join the hands with the other parties to complete the majority. This form of government is called coalition government, यानी कि गठबंधन की सरकार. Okay, now the next point is the Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representation of the states of India in Parliament. As I have told you that the members of Rajya Sabha are elected by the members of the state legislative assemblies of the different states. Okay, the Rajya Sabha has an important role of reviewing and altering the laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. Okay, now I will explain you what is the role played by the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so I have already told you that laws are made in the parliament. Okay, and the parliament have two houses, that is Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. So first of all, any proposal for the law is called bill. So first of all, a bill is passed in the Lok Sabha, means it was originate in the Lok Sabha, and after a discussion and debate, if the bill is passed by the Lok Sabha, then the bill came into the Rajya Sabha. So in this context, Rajya Sabha has an important role of reviewing and altering the laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. Okay, means if the Lok Sabha passed any bill to make it a law, then it came into the upper house, that is in Rajya Sabha, and if the Rajya Sabha feels that there are some needs, there is a need to make some alteration or to make some changes in that particular law, so it can by reviewing that particular law, it can suggest for the improvements. Okay, so the laws which were passed by the Lok Sabha, then those laws were reviewed by the Rajya Sabha. Okay, means the laws which were passed by Lok Sabha, those laws were reviewed by the Rajya Sabha, and if the Rajya Sabha feels that there is a need of some changes in that particular law, it can suggest the Lok Sabha. Okay, so the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by, I have already told you this, the elected members of the legislative assemblies of different states. Okay, which is called the Vidhan Sabha. Okay, Vidhan Sabha are the bodies, like at the national level we have Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so in the state, the Vidhan Sabha played the role of the Lok Sabha, and the Vidhan Parishad is played the role of Rajya Sabha. Okay, so The Vidhan Sabha are the organs of the state government. Okay, so the members of Rajya Sabha are elected by the members of assemblies of the state. Okay, which were called the legislative assembly or the Vidhan Sabha. Okay, now the Rajya Sabha, in Rajya Sabha there are 233 elected members. This I have already explained you. 233 members are elected by the member of state legislative assemblies. Okay, and the 12 members are nominated by the presidents. Means president have the power to nominate 2 members of the Lok Sabha and 12 members of the Rajya Sabha, and those 12 members are belongs to the field of science, art, literature or cinema or the social service. Okay, the next point in your book is to control, guide and inform the government. Okay, the parliament while in a session begins with the question hour. Okay, it is the initial hour of the government in which the MPs they ask the question. Means the MPs of the opposition parties they ask the different questions to the leaders of the government regarding their programs and the policies. Okay, so the parliament while in session begins with the question hour through which an MP can got the information about the working of the government. In this session the opposition party MPs they ask the question to the different MPs of the ruling party regarding their ministries. Okay, so in this prospect they can get the information about the working and the functioning of the government. The opposition parties play a crucial role in a healthy functioning of democracy. As I have already told you, those parties who lost in the election they play a role of opposition. Means it is their duty or responsibility to put forward the weak points of the government in front of the people, by which they just try to make or they just try to mold the public opinion in their favor. Okay, the opposition parties highlighted the drawbacks in the various policies and programs of the government and to mobilize the popular support in their favor. Okay, this is the chief function of any opposition party, that it put forward the drawbacks in the various policies and programs of the government, and by doing this they just try to mold the public opinion in their favor. Okay, the government who is in rule they gets the valuable feedback and it kept it on its toes by the questions asked by the MPs of the opposition parties. Means if we have elected the leaders and if the government formed, it doesn't mean that the government can do whatever they want. They have to follow certain rules and the procedures. So if they are not doing this, it is the duty of the opposition parties to make them aware of their duties. So in this context the government got their valuable feedback and it also kept the government on their toes. Means if they will do something wrong in the next election, people they can reject them. Okay, so all this pressurized the ruling government to work well. Okay, so the last point is lawmaking is a significant function of the parliament. This I have already explained you in the beginning of the chapter. This is the most important function of the Indian parliament, that is it makes the laws as it plays the role of legislature. Now the last topic in your book is who are the people in the parliament. Means who became the members of parliament, who are those people. Means in this topic we will read about their backgrounds. Okay, so the parliament has more and more people from the different backgrounds. Okay, as we all know that India is a diverse country in terms of its population, so the Indian parliament is consists of the representatives who comes from the different backgrounds. So in recent years there has been an increase in the political participation from the Dalit, backward caste and the minorities. Okay, means seats were reserved for both for the SCs, STs and the OBCs. Means the people who belongs to the backward classes, seats were reserved, means almost 120 to 130 seats were reserved for the people who belongs to the backward classes, that is SCs and the STs. Okay, I think 84 seats are reserved for, I'm not sure, but I think 84 seats were reserved for the people who belongs to SCs, and near about 44 to 46 seats were reserved for the people. Means on the whole, near about 130 seats were reserved for the people who belongs to the backward classes. And it has recently been suggested that there should be a reservation for women in the seats of parliament, which is approved now. 1/3 seats are reserved for the women in the Lok Sabha elections. Means out of 543, 1/3 seats were reserved for the people, for the women in India. Okay, students, actually the Indian parliament having so many powers. Okay, as it having the legislative powers where it can make the laws, it can control over the finance, control over the executive, it can amend the laws, or it can make the new laws for the country, it can declare the emergency in the country. But as you are in class 8th, we will do some specific functions of the parliament. I hope you all are able to understood this. Students, this chapter is very important, not in prospect of class 8th, but in class 9th, in class 10th also you will read the same thing. So please see the videos and try to understand the topics. Okay, whenever you have any problem, you can ask me. I have told you so many times. So please be serious and do your work properly. Okay, here I have tried to make a simple explanation of this chapter. I hope you all are able to understood. In the next week I will give you the notes of this chapter, and please see those notes also. I will just try to make as simple as I can prepare, by which you all are able to understood. So please see the notes also, which I will provide you in the next week. Okay, till then you just see the video, and if you having any query, you are not able to understood any topic, you can ask me freely. Okay, so in this chapter I just try to explain you about the role and the function of our parliament, and I have just tried to make you understood that how the members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are elected. Please you just try to see in your NCERT book also that how the members they are elected, and why do we need a parliament. Okay, so please watch the video, as this is very important chapter. Okay, thank you.